everybody. It's Testimonial Week here on Fire Your MD Now, where we draw back the curtain on medicine as it's practiced in the United States and give you a heads up on science-based, clinically verified alternatives to drugs and surgery. Why? Because in the hour that it will take this radio show to broadcast, approximately 90 people in the United States will walk through death's door needlessly as a direct result of going to an MD for medical treatment. That's right. MD-directed, pharmaceutical-centrist, allopathic, reductionistic medicine is the leading cause of death in the United States. Bad dog, no biscuit. My recommendation, stop going to MDs unless you're bleeding to death, have a nasty infection, or have suffered some type of trauma. They are the wrong dog for the hunt. Their therapeutics have consistently failed to cure us in the last 100 years. While they've been driving the bus, Alzheimer's has risen from obscurity to the 6th leading cause of death. Autism is skyrocketing. 1 out of 90 kids, 88 kids now, is born with autism. Obesity skyrocketing. 33% of our adults are obese, and it's tripled in our kids in the last 20 years. Arthritis through the roof. Type 2 diabetes through the roof. High blood pressure through the roof. Life expectancy plummeting. All while the MDs have been in charge of our health care? I don't think so. It's not health care, it's disease management. It's not really even disease management. It's pharmaceutical centrist to disease intervention, loaded with side effects. Stop going to your MD. And what do you do instead? Medical nutrition. You come to see us. You listen to a longevity representative. You listen to Dr. Wallach. You listen to this radio show. Because we have access to health recovery information that's based on millions of dollars of federally funded research and decades of clinical experience by licensed naturopathic physicians, and I'm one of them. The proof of the pudding is in the eating, ladies and gentlemen. The only thing necessary for my profession to thrive is that we tell the truth and get people to follow our advice, because when people follow our advice, they get results. But don't believe me. After all, it's Testimonial Week on FireYourMDNow.com, and we have with us Victoria from Colorado, who's going to tell you her own story. Victoria, are you with us?
I am, Doc Glidden.
Thank you so much for calling. Thank you so much for being a longevity person. Thank you so much for holding this banner up and standing on the mountaintop out there in Colorado and shouting to the world your experience with medical nutrition. So bring us up to speed. Give the listening audience a little bit of a background on your health history before and after longevity.
Well, you know, I own a holistic retreat center, and so health has always been a big thing to us. But I had gained, for me personally, I had gained a lot of weight, and no matter what I ever did, Doc, no matter what nutrition I took or anything, I was still having trouble getting things off. And longevity recently came out with a product, and I was privileged enough to be on their test pilot, and honest to gosh, I lost 40 pounds in 40 days. And then I did. It's amazing. All I kept thinking is, oh my God, if I just found this 40 years ago, because I had been overweight my whole life.
How much overweight are we talking?
At least 100 pounds.
Yeah, baby, that's overweight.
Overweight.
You're not alone. 33% of people in the United States are in those shoes. 33%.
Wow. Well, I was kind of shocked I was 100 pounds overweight. It's just that, I mean, we ate all organic food. We exercised every day. No matter what I did, I just kept gaining. It was almost like I had this thing. I didn't even want to look at food because I felt if I looked at food, I would gain weight. I mean, I was that psychologically demented over it and hopeless. Well, we now have a product, and I got to tell you, every product in that I deal with in this line, we have like a dozen products that are so amazing that whether you're given the protocol or Doc Wallach is given the protocol, I mean, literally almost every dis-ease known to man, I've seen it turn around. My own husband used to be insulin dependent. Now, a normal doctor would say to you, oh, you've been on insulin for 5 years, you will never get off. But what you got to know about Iggy is that he doesn't come from a family of diabetes. He literally eats, again, like me, all organic food, but this guy is a workout crazy nut. He works out 3 hours a day, okay? So you talk about a guy, we have a very, very healthy lifestyle, real mind, body, spirit connection kind of thing, but he had diabetes.
Yeah.
And no matter what he did, it wouldn't happen. And he ran into Doc Wallach. Yeah. And I got to tell you this quick story. When he ran into Doc, it was the first time we'd ever met him, and we were at the hotel. We didn't know, because we'd never seen Doc Wallach, was behind us. And Iggy looks over at me and goes, oh, my God, my calves hurt so bad. He goes, that little plane from Alaska was so teeny. He goes, I'm just really cramping. Excuse me. Excuse me. And so we get to our hotel room. There's a knock on the door. I don't know why I've got to tickle my throat. Excuse me.
Yeah, it's okay.
Get some water here. A knock on the door. He hands them this bottle of OsteoFX Plus, which is liquid calcium that's highly absorbable, and says, drink this. In 10 minutes, it's going to be gone.
So was Dr. Wallach knocking at the door?
And we'd never met him in our life. Now, what doctor do you know is going to knock on the door that you don't know and say, hey, I'm Doc Wallach. I heard you talk about your cramps. Drink this, and in 10 minutes, it'll be gone. And in 10 minutes, it was. And Iggy looks at me, and he goes, Victoria, I'm going to track this guy down. If he can get rid of cramps in 10 minutes, he can get rid of this diabetes, which I have no reason to have. And I got to tell you, 12 months later, he is not insulin dependent.
I know, it's crazy, isn't it? It is remarkable, because all of these things go away when you give your body the stuff it needs to fix itself. I mean, this is the best kept secret in the United States as far as health stuff goes. So I'm interested about your weight, though. Let's get back to the weight. Tell me more about that.
Okay, so I lost 40 pounds in 40 days. Then I did a 21-day resetting. Now, I don't know about you, Doc, but even as great body as you've got, and I've seen you before, I don't know if you gain weight when you go on vacation, but right after my 40 days, Iggy says, Victoria, we got a timeshare that's expiring, and we've got to go to Mexico, or we're going to lose it. I said, I'm not going to Mexico. You got to be out of your mind. I just lost 40 pounds. If I go on vacation, I'm going to get it all back. He says, no, didn't you tell me that this resets your metabolism and you don't have to worry about that? And Victoria, if we follow everything just like a T, you won't do it. I took my scale. I didn't care if I had to pay $600 for it.
You took your scale
I'm telling you, and it's a glass scale. I wrapped it in bubble wrap. I took a lot of food with me just in case the Mexicans didn't have the right kind of food that I wanted, right? And so, and I said to him, I don't care how much to pay for an extra suitcase there and back. It doesn't matter. I have spent all this energy. Make a long story short, I came back after 2 weeks, had not gained a pound. Then I took a little bit of time off, started again. I lost, now in 80 days, I lost 73 pounds.
Unbelievable. Now, where are you losing? What part of your body are you losing it from?
Well, now, this is the cool thing. It only pulls the adipose tissue. So, I mean, I'm talking to the choir when I'm talking to you. But as we know, there's three kinds of fat. I mean, there's the structural fat, which is in and around the muscles and cushions the organs and pads the bottom of your feet. And then there's the normal fat that's under the skin surface that you need. But then there's that adipose fat, which is that cottage cheese crap and the big saddlebags and those handlebars and the back on your fat and all that. It literally, for me, takes it evenly. I have a girlfriend who literally only had 5 pounds to lose. And when she said, I'm going to do this, I said, are you crazy? You got a great body. What would you do? It sculpted her body as if she had someone there with a scalpel. She now lost 25 inches, 5 pounds in like 23 days, and she's 62 and has a body of an 18-year-old. I have never witnessed anything like this, Doc.
I mean, I know. It's remarkable, really. This is the beginning of a big tidal wave, and it's going to sweep the nation. Now, the thing about weight loss is anybody can lose weight. What the problem is, you find it again. Right. This is the big problem with weight loss campaigns in the United States, because weight loss campaigns, as directed by everybody else in the United States, are directed based on old-fashioned, outdated, reductionistic medicine based on Newtonian physics, right? And the fact of the matter is, you can go on a limited calorie diet for about 8 weeks, maybe 10 weeks, maybe 12 weeks if you're really disciplined. But eventually, you're going to lose weight, because the only thing that makes people gain weight is too many calories, and you will lose weight if you're on a limited calorie diet, but your body is starving. And so losing weight is hard. It's hard on your body. It's hard on your mind. You constantly have to struggle and fight. Your energy's in the crapper, and then after the 12th week, you chuck it. And so just like Oprah, you're going to chuck it in the middle of the night. You're going to raid the fridge. You're going to gain back 100 pounds. You're going to yo-yo up and down. But when you do weight loss the holistic way, the Dr. Wallach way, the longevity way, you completely support and promote the body's nutritional needs. Your hunger goes away. Your body starts to burn fat, and once it burns it, it keeps it off, and that's a remarkable thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really incredible, isn't it? So from your point, I mean, how many weight loss things did you do before this in your life?
We would have to be on this a lot longer than an hour, Doc. I mean, I am one of these people that when I do something, I do it. And it's crazy to admit this, and I've never even admitted this to my team. I have not only done fasting for 6 weeks twice a year to do cleanses. I have done Weight Watchers. I've done Jenny Craig. I've done the liquid. I have done them all. I actually even went through the stress, pressure, and money of a lap band surgery.
Yeah.
Then had to turn back a few years later and have the whole thing taken out because it had created so much issues, and it didn't help me at all. But I know in my heart of hearts, because we put the longevity nutrition in as we're doing this. In fact, I will not put anybody personally, I would not enroll anybody in this ASAP program with longevity, which is what the weight loss program is called, unless they do a complete nutritional program, and that's a minimum. And if they're hurting for money, I just put them in with the mineral, vitamin, amino acid complex, or, the whole vitamin mineral deal, which is the Beyond Tangy Tangerine, and I put them with OsteoFX Plus, which is the liquid calcium that's so highly absorbable that you talk about a lot.
Yeah.
We put them on those two at the minimum, but we really prefer they also do the selenium, which, as you've taught me, really helps support the liver. Because let's face it, I mean, toxins are stored in the fat. Gosh, was sitting here with 100 pounds overweight. Now I realize I want to go even further than 100 pounds. And, all these toxins have been floating around in my body here, and by doing the nutrition, it helps support that liver and kidney.
We're back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Dr. Peter Glidden, and this is Fire Your MD Now. Doctors are people who prescribe medicines of which they know little to cure diseases of which they know less in human beings of whom they know nothing. That, according to Voltaire, and I could not agree more. The reason that our health care is in the crapper in the United States, the reason that bankruptcy, the leading cause of bankruptcy is medical bills, the reason that we're losing the middle class is because businesses cannot afford to pay a living wage and health care costs because health care costs are so exorbitant. Why? Because MD-directed, pharmaceutical centrist, allopathic, reductionistic medicine, the type of medicine your MD is trained in, does not work. It doesn't work. It is the wrong dog for the hunt. Now, you want to take the right dog out to the hunt? It's your lucky day. You have come to exactly the right place, and we've got it firsthand all week long. This is Testimonial Week on Fire Your MD Now. We're talking with Victoria from Colorado about her experience with medical nutrition vis-a-vis especially weight loss here. Now, before I bring Victoria back, I want to underline one thing. From our vantage point, weight gain is a deficiency disease. It is not a disease of excess. The only thing that makes people gain weight is we eat too many calories, right? There was nobody in Auschwitz that was overweight. I don't care what their diagnosis was. If you don't eat, you lose weight. The only thing that makes people eat too many calories is their body is starved for nutrition. And your body has wisdom. It knows when it's running on nutrient fumes. And when it is running on nutrient fumes, it makes you eat. So what do you know? You're starving to death. You go to Olive Garden. You eat 3,000 calories. And 2 hours later, oh my God, you're hungry again. Why? Because you went to the wrong doctor. But what does your doctor tell you? Oh, you need a lap band. Oh, your stomach's too big. Oh, you have a bad gene. Oh, you're depressed. Oh, you're a lazy ass. Just get off the couch and go exercise, which, by the way, is the worst thing you can do when you're overweight. It is not your fault. It's your doctor's fault. We can fix weight loss. It's easy. Weight gain. It's easier to help somebody maintain a healthy body weight than it is to fall off a potato truck, as is evidenced by Victoria. But I digress. Now, Victoria, let's dial it back a little bit here. So the program that you're getting such remarkable results with is a combination of Dr. Wallach's Healthy Start Pack, the Mighty 90, the 91 essential nutrients, right? Plus this new product called ASAP. Can you tell us how to get that and where to go for information?
Well, what I would do is get with the longevity associate, like Dr. Glidden or whoever. I would go to, I don't know.
Is there a website? Does Longevity have ASAP information on the website yet? Do you know?
They do longevityasap.com or asaplongevity.com, but in order to sign up to get it, they would need to go through someone like you, Doc Glidden. So you might want to give just your.
Yeah, so we do that all the time, but this ASAP thing, it's a brand new product, and so if people go to your Longevity landing page, right, or a Longevity landing page, and they they click follow the links to sign up and become a member of the company, is there then some place to go on that Longevity website for the ASAP information?
They can just do a search for the ASAP. I will tell you, they're going to want to do several products. Like you said, they're going to do the Beyond Tangy Tangerine, the OsteoFX Plus. They may want to do Selenium. They may want to do De-Stress. But the first two in particular, and the ASAP. And then there's a website, longevityasap.com, and then or ASAP, meaning ASAP, longevity.com, that kind of explains the protocol and this or that. But they cannot sign up without a referral number of some kind.
Okay, good. So I'll put a link for that, for the ASAP information, on my website immediately after this show, ladies and gentlemen. Just point and click. Go to fireyourmdnow.com, fireyourmdnow.com. Click on the ASAP link. It'll give you the information. Then come back to fireyourmdnow.com and sign up. Two ways you can work with us. You can become a member, and that's $10 or $400. It's a $10 sign-up fee or a $400 sign-up fee. If you really want to be serious about making money, come on board for $400. If you just want to get your feet wet, it's $10. If you don't want to do the business at all, it's free. You just sign up, get the products, give us your information. We'll sell you the products wholesale. We'll even sell you the stuff wholesale online. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the greatest thing to happen to medicine since the invention of the sterile technique. Victoria, we've got 30 seconds left here. What's your goal? What is your weight loss goal, and how far along that timeline are you?
Well, I know that by Independence Day, I will be an independent woman and be at a weight that I wasn't until I was in high school. And that was just a few years ago, baby.
So we're looking at over 100 pounds weight loss total, right?
Oh, yeah. And I'm almost there now.
You are remarkable. Victoria, thank you so much for calling and talking to you today about everything having to do with holistic health. And that's holistic with a W. I don't know who took the W off of holistic, but it was some knucklehead, because when you take the W off of holistic and spell it H-O-L, what does that remind you of? Holes, right? Things that have a negative connotation. Well, we put the W back in holistic medicine here at Fire Your MD Now. In this segment, I'd like to talk about current events. I just pulled this off of Medscape.com, a culprit to consider in multiple sclerosis. Check this out. Low serum vitamin D, D like David, and recurrent inflammatory spinal cord disease. The study summary says basically investigators at Johns Hopkins University made a discovery showing that low levels of vitamin D are related to increased incidence of multiple sclerosis. Low levels of vitamin D, like David, are related to increases in the occurrence of multiple sclerosis. How about that? Now, vitamin D, the chemical name for vitamin D, the most common form of vitamin D is vitamin D3. That's the form that the body uses the most. It's called cholecalciferol. And cholecalciferol, or it's a scientific name, is made from a molecule called 7-dehydrocholesterol. 7-dehydrocholesterol. It's cholesterol. You get it? Vitamin D is made from cholesterol. Now, we've been saying this for years. Dr. Wallach has been saying this for years, and I've been saying it for decades. I've been saying it for 3 years. It is our belief that multiple sclerosis, Parkinson's disease, Lou Gehrig's disease, and Alzheimer's disease are all different arms of the same octopus, because they all affect the central nervous system. They are inflammatory diseases of the central nervous system. Nobody knows what causes Alzheimer's. And by the way, you can only diagnose Alzheimer's post-mortem. Did you know that? The only time you can make a definitive diagnosis of Alzheimer's is if you cut the Alzheimer's patient's head open and look at a particular part of the brain under a microscope, and then you can say with 100% certainty, oh yeah, that was Alzheimer's. There are a number of diseases which mimic Alzheimer's, but they're not Alzheimer's. You know, Sundowner syndrome is one of the most common. Sundowner syndrome is a simple vitamin B1 thiamine deficiency. So if you know somebody that they think has Alzheimer's or even has Sundowner syndrome, our recommendation is the Healthy Start Pack plus a supplement that Longevity makes called D-Stress, which has lots and lots of thiamine, which is vitamin B like baby 1. Thiamine is vitamin B1. And from our point of view, Sundowner syndrome has its roots in a vitamin B deficiency. And it's a really cool thing to see Sundowner syndrome disappear, because all of a sudden the person who couldn't remember their kid's name and didn't know who their daughter was and didn't know what time of the day it was or what state they lived in or what president was in office now, all of a sudden remembers all that stuff after about 14 days on the program. It's really a remarkable thing. But again, I digress. It is our position that Alzheimer's, Lou Gehrig's, Parkinson's, and multiple sclerosis are all results of inflammation to the central nervous system and chronic cholesterol deficiencies, which are driven by fat-free diets and statin drugs. Fat-free diets and statin drugs. Now, research just published shows a direct relationship between not enough vitamin D, which is made from cholesterol, and multiple sclerosis, for goodness sake, which is an inflammatory condition of the central nervous system. So, you, not knowing anything at all about medicine, knowing nothing about medicine, if you were faced with an illness in a part of the body that was made from cholesterol, if there was damage to a part of the body that was made from cholesterol, what would you do? Well, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that you would do something to increase cholesterol in the body, right? I mean, for goodness sake, if your bones are damaged, if you got a broken bone, you know, you've got a compound fracture of the long bone in your leg, you're going to want to take calcium and magnesium and phosphorus and bone minerals, right? Just makes sense. Well, guess what? If you have a diagnosis which is the result of, if you have a pathological process going on in your body, which is the result of damage to cholesterol, well, guess what? A smart person would eat more cholesterol, right? Oh, and don't worry, because there's no relationship between high cholesterol and heart disease. We've talked about this in the past. I did a whole show on cholesterol. The bottom line is there's no relationship between high cholesterol and heart disease. It does not exist. You've been scammed by the statin drug companies. You've been scammed. As a matter of fact, 50% of people who get heart attacks have low cholesterol. And a study done at the University of Toronto looked at 8,000 men and showed no relationship between cholesterol and heart disease. And there was another study done in Honolulu called the Honolulu Heart Project, I think. It showed actually that long-term persistence of low cholesterol increased death. So the longer you went with low cholesterol, the sooner you died. And now listen, if cholesterol was such a boogeyman, if cholesterol was as bad as they make it out to be, a reasonable person would consider that, or would come to the conclusion that after 25 years of statin drug use, cholesterol-lowering drugs, 25 years of statin drug use, it's actually more than that. They were started in the 1980s, so that's 20, 30, so 32 years. After 3 decades of statin drug use, fat-free diets, right? Everybody's on the fat-free kick, and exercise, right? Everybody's trying to burn fat, lose weight, right? A reasonable person would assume that heart disease should be getting better. Heart disease rates should be getting better, but guess what? They're not. There's just as much heart disease now as there ever was. Just as many arteries are getting clogged now as they ever were. Just as many people now are dying from heart disease as they ever were. Just as many people are getting it, or getting heart disease as they ever were. Because cholesterol is not the culprit. But while we're driving cholesterol into the gutter with statin drugs, which are the leading the pharmaceutical industry sells more statin drugs than any other drug. It eclipses all other drug sales. Cholesterol-lowering statin drugs are the largest selling prescription medicines in the world. And to the tune of something like $23, I think, billion in sales a year. That's billion with a B, folks. 25 billion. So while we've been taking statin drugs like crazy, eating that stuff like candy on Easter morning, heart disease has remained unchanged. However, Alzheimer's has risen from obscurity to the leading cause of death. Women are getting hot flushes now for 3 years instead of 3 months like their grandparents. And all of a sudden, men have erectile dysfunction. Well, what's the relationship? Well, guess what? All of your sex hormones, wait for it, are made from cholesterol. That's what they're made from. They're made from cholesterol. And over 90% of the part of the brain that's affected by Alzheimer's disease is made, wait for it, from cholesterol. You get it? So when you drive cholesterol into the ditch with statin drugs, fat-free diets, and exercise, your sex hormones dry up. If you're a man, you get erectile dysfunction. That never existed before. All of a sudden, it's a big deal, right? Good for the drug companies, good for the Viagra and Cialis people. And women get hot flushes forever because they can't make enough progesterone. Men can't make enough testosterone. Women can't make enough progesterone. So men get erectile dysfunction and women get hot flushes. Oh, but we've got hormones for that. Oh, but we've got drugs for that. And Alzheimer's all of a sudden is a big deal. Before statin drugs, there were less than 800 cases of Alzheimer's disease in the United States a year. Now it's the 6th leading cause of death. Are you kidding me? And you continue to give these knuckleheads your hard-earned money in the form of insurance premium payments every month to gain access to their system of medicine. You need your head examined. Quite frankly, you need medical nutrition. And you have come to exactly the right place for that. Because this, as you've heard, if you've been listening all week, you're here the testimonials. Type 2 diabetes, gone. Weight gain, gone. High blood pressure. Clots in the legs, gone. Coumadin to the tune of 12 milligrams a day, which is a ridiculous dosage, gone. All of these conditions resolved. Why? Did the person all of a sudden have a genetic transplant? Were they beamed up to the Starship Enterprise and they rearranged their genetic structure? Was that how they did that? No, that's not how did they do it with some designer drug? No. It's all done with simple medical nutrition. For goodness sake, the MDs have been telling you to go on, the cholesterol is evil, stop eating fat food, stay away from butter, use margarine instead, and take statin drugs. And look what's happened to you. You're getting fat, you're dying of heart disease, and the drug companies are getting rich. Talk about a prison planet. This is it, baby. We are in the prison planet. And the people that are holding the keys are the pharmaceutical companies, the MDs, and the insurance companies. They have pulled the wool over your eyes. I don't know if they did it on purpose. I don't know if there was some conspiracy. I don't think they're that smart. I think the medical industry has just become a runaway monopoly. And, egos are involved. And there's nobody that's going to go through medical school and that's going to go against the grain. There's nobody that's going to go through medical school and, question authority. And they're all knuckleheads. It's like the blind leading the blind, which is kind of funny when you think about it. Not so funny when you consider that they're the leading cause of death in the United States. Heart disease is number 2 and cancer is number 3. While the MDs have been driving the bus. and we continue to use their services. For goodness sake, ladies and gentlemen, take a walk on the not-so-wild side. Involve yourself with medical nutrition. You've got nothing to lose. There's a 30-day money-back guarantee on all these products. You buy the products, you don't like them, you send them back, you get your money back. You buy the products, you like them, you get your health back. What kind of an investment is that? And then you cancel your comprehensive medical insurance, buy catastrophic insurance instead, and I'll even show you a way to get your vitamins for free. Does GNC do that? No. Does Fruitful Yield do that? No. Does the online vitamin store do that? No. And do any of these other vitamin companies have recipes that were formulated by naturopathic physicians with over 3 decades of clinical experience, with books in the Smithsonian? Anybody else have that type of a captain driving their ship? No. We are the only ones. Go to fireyourmdnow.com, click on the Join Us button, and get yourself 1 healthy start pack, 1 bottle of liquid plant minerals, and 1 bottle of selenium per 100 pounds of body weight per month. Download the Good Food, Bad Food diet, and baby, you are going to love how you feel. I'm out, and I'd like to go right now to Bryce, calling in from Texas. He's got a question about Candida. Thanks for calling, Bryce. What's up?
Well, hey, Doc. I just wanted to try to dial in this digestive problem that I've been having. My wife's been commenting on my flatulence and my belching, and I'm on the Healthy Start Pack. The stuff that you and Doc Waller are doing is groundbreaking, and it's just waking up, partially my family and myself to this stuff. But growing up, I had pyloric stenosis, I guess, as a kid, and then took a lot of antibiotics. My father was a pharmacist, and my granddad was a family physician, so I had a lot of that. Not to mention I'm gluten intolerant, so I'm trying to dial in the digestion thing and wanted to know about this yeast control. What do you recommend on trying to bring down the belching and gas?
All right, now the belching and gas is something you've had for a while, right?
That's right, yeah, as long as I can remember.
Yeah, okay. All right, good. So here's the deal. And how much do you weigh, Bryce?
About 200. I've lost about 20 pounds on the program, but
great.
I just ordered the digestion pack, too, to add some enzymes and some probiotics. I hadn't been doing that, so I've been drinking probably a lot of wine and dark chocolate, and I was wondering if that's contributing to this gas.
Well, you're the smartest man in class. So, gas, burping, and passing gas are two separate phenomenon. When you burp a lot, that's because of not enough stomach acid. Your stomach acid is weak, and when your stomach acid isn't strong enough, it allows bugs to grow in the stomach. And when bugs grow in the stomach, they cause all kinds of trouble in the stomach. And one of the most strongest signs and symptoms of that is this need to belch all the time. So one of the things we do in order to support and promote the health of stomach acid is, of course, the OsteoFX Plus, because your stomach needs calcium in order to secrete stomach acid. So at 200 pounds, you need to be taking 1 ounce of the liquid calcium twice a day. Okay, 1 ounce of the OsteoFX Plus twice a day would be optimal for you. In addition to that, you're going to want to be salting your food. Use good old-fashioned iodized table salt and use it liberally. Follow your body's taste in that regard, because once you start putting salt on your food, your body will tell you, how much to use. And by the way, if your food tastes too salty, you've used too much. So salt and calcium over time, will take care of the belching on the stomach side. The digestive enzymes are a very smart addition to this program, especially for the next 2 or 3 months. Digestive enzymes are not anything that you or anybody else is going to need to take long time, full term, unless you've had your gallbladder removed. Do you still have your gallbladder?
Yeah, I had pyloric stenosis when I was a kid. That doesn't impact anything, does it?
Yeah, no. Pyloric stenosis is, pyloric stenosis is caused by not enough nutrition so that the valves in your stomach start to get funky. Kind of like if you don't have enough joint nutrition, your joints will start to go south. You get arthritis. Well, pyloric stenosis is caused by not enough nutrition to the valves in the stomach, in addition to, bad diet, not enough stomach acid. So these things all roll into one. So I would only recommend that you take the digestive enzymes for maybe 2-3 months max, because the goal here is to get your stomach so healthy that, it's going to be able to get by just on the 91 essential nutrients. Now, let's talk about passing gas down south. The main cause of that, of course, is undigested food, problem with constipation. So you need to be making sure you have good, healthy bowel movements every day.
Well, I don't think so. I mean, it's happening every day, but I don't know that they're healthy. I mean,
well, you having at least one well-formed bowel movement every day?
Well, what if I'm not?
Well, if you're not, then that's a problem. And so what are the things that will help to move that along, no pun intended, are the digestive enzymes. But I want you to take the Flora FX before bed. Take 3 of the Flora FX that you're going to get in the Healthy Digestion Pack before bed. Call me back tomorrow. I'll dial the rest of this in for you. You're on the right track. The only other thing I would add would be the sweeties. Sweeties. Because the thing that's feeding the yeast is blood sugar that's too high. And your blood sugar is only too high if you don't have the proper nutrients. The proper nutrients are in the sweeties. So take 3 sweeties before a meal. I'm Dr. Peter Glidden. Thanks for your time. I'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same channel. Come on back.